Hello there, how are you doing today? I trust you're doing awesome. Today's going to be beautiful because I have something amazing to share with you. If you're just meeting me, please click on the subscribe button, turn on your notification so that you can get notification when I release content. I share amazing content. So please click on the subscribe button and then follow me, comment, and do whatever they do when video is released. Yes. So before I got married, I used to fall in love with this girl. Everybody has their love map where you write down the list of things that you want in a person. Once you see those attributes, you fall in love with them. And so I was no exception. I had those attributes, those characteristics that I wanted in a person. And I saw this girl, I fell in love with her, and I imagined myself marrying her, raising kids with her, and all of those things. And after some time, I started expressing how I felt and told her all of that. And initially, she had the same feeling, but I think after some time, she started seeing that this person may not work with me. Now, we didn't enter any form of relationship. We just what they call the talking stage now, that you express your love for somebody and then you guys on conversation, you're discussing, telling yourself the amount of children you want to have and the way you want to spend your honeymoon, all of those things that they do, people who are about to enter into a relationship. So I think I would call that stage where we're at that stage in our friendship. So one day I went to her place to greet her as I would normally do, and I just told her so many things I felt, that I'm imagining us getting married and all of that. And she gave me a shocker. She said, "I don't think we can get married. We're not the same people. You are this church person. I'm not in love with church people. I don't love them," and all of that. I don't know what happened to me that day, but it actually felt like somebody gave me a blow. Those words entered into me. I felt rejected. And it was like I had an injury. It was like something terrible happened to me. It was so bad. I felt so rejected, and she just made it. She was blunt about it. "We can't get married and all of that. You are not my type. I'm not this kind of person that you want, and we can't even end up getting married." Imagine me having those thoughts of spending time in Maldives, Paris, different places, and then all of a sudden she just tells me that we're not going to get married and that. So do you know that for a week I could not sleep? I could not really sleep, literally could not sleep for a week. I was just thinking about the rejection, thinking about how I was going to cope with it. I even tried texting her. I was like, "Are you sure about this? You have to think this through. We've been together, I've been friends for a long time." And for a week, I couldn't sleep. So she eventually blocked me, and it was terrible. It was a tough time. And that was when I tested that feeling of rejection. And guess what? That feeling or that rejection turned out to be a blessing to me later on in life. I met somebody who we are now compatible, a lot of things that I could not see then. My eyes were blinded with love. And now I found out that if I had ended up with her, that would have been a terrible mistake. And so I want to discuss about how you can handle rejection. As long as you're going to become successful, as long as you've determined that you're going to become successful, you are definitely going to face rejection. I can't even count the amount of rejection letters I have gotten from job offers and job interviews. From job interviews, people telling me, "Unfortunately, we can't continue with you. Unfortunately, you can't pass the next stage, you can't go over to the next stage," and all of that. So rejection is actually something that you're going to really face. As long as you are going to become successful, rejection is part of the things that you're going to face. And so I want to talk to you about how to handle rejection, how you can handle rejection, how you see rejection differently. I read a story about, all of these successful people. This guy who did KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, I think Colonel Sanders, how 1,000 persons rejected his recipe until eventually he became successful. He met somebody who loved it. Imagine being rejected 1,000 times. That's sort of determination, that's resilience, and you kept going. And today, KFC is one of the successful enterprise around today. So, if you want to be successful, if you want to become global, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be rich, you need to learn how to handle rejection properly. You need to keep trying until you understand that rejection is a part of life. Of course, you know the story of Sylvester Stallone, how he got rejected by different producers and eventually he got himself a movie role that became one of his successful movies today. So rejection is something that you have to get used to if you want to succeed. I want to teach you how to handle rejection and turn it into your advantage. Whether you had your heart broken by somebody who you thought you were going to get married to, whom you thought you were going to get married to, or you, as they call it, breakfast, or you got rejected, you applied for a job, you got rejected, you applied for a loan, you got rejected, you applied for, you pitched that great idea and you got rejected, maybe different things, you just got rejected. I want to let you know that it is not strange, it is not unusual. As long as you want to be successful, this is something that you're going to keep facing. And the earlier you get used to rejection, the better. So, how do we handle rejection? Number one, how do we handle rejection? Understand that rejection is part of life. Rejection is a part of life. I told you about the story of different successful people who got rejected. So rejection is part of life. Whether now or later in the future, you are definitely going to face rejection. So it is not unique to you. It is part of life. And guess what? Rejection is a proof that you're doing something great. Rejection is proof that you are attempting something great. So it is part of life. Understand this. If you're alive, you're going to get rejected. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in business, whether it's in a position, just understand that it is part of life. Number two, how do we handle rejection? Accept what happened. We've heard stories of people who they served breakfast and they even took their own lives. That is one of the terrible things to do. That you see yourself so little that somebody told you that we are not compatible, and then you decide that the next thing to do is to take your own life. That's so terrible. Rejection doesn't define you. We're going to come to that place, but the second step is that accept what happened. Accept it. It could be for the better. It could be for the best. So accept what happened. Yes, you got rejected, and so what? And so what? Just accept it. Stop going back to the things that, stop replaying those memories again. Stop going back to where you were rejected. Accept it and move on. It is part of life. So accept it and move on. Accept what happened. If those people who got rejected, like Colonel Sanders that got rejected, if he didn't accept it as part of life, he wouldn't have been trying to accept it. The earlier you better accept the feeling. Accept the feeling. Yes, if you have to cry. If you have to feel sad. But just make sure that you accept it for a little period of time and then move on. Accept what happened. Yes. Number three, how to handle rejection. Number three is that you need to keep trying until it becomes nothing to you. This is a very valid point. Keep trying until it becomes nothing to you. If you have understood that rejection is part of life, then guess what? Keep trying. Keep trying. There are many people who got rejected and they kept trying, and just like that, they eventually met with success. So keep trying until it becomes nothing to you. You're going to apply for several jobs, and you're going to get rejected. But eventually the one that belongs to you will come. Don't forget this. Maybe you've been rejected in your relationship, you've tried different people and you've been rejected. Guess what? That doesn't mean that it is the end of life. Eventually, the one that belongs to you is definitely going to come. So keep trying until it becomes nothing to you. And finally, rejection does not define you. It is true. It is really true that rejection does not define you. The most intelligent person you think, at some point in their life, they have been rejected. The most successful people you can think of today, at some point in their lives, they were rejected. So it doesn't define you. It doesn't define your intelligence. It doesn't define your qualities. It doesn't define your worth. Rejection does not define you. Understand this. That it is a part of life and it does not define you. It is just I think one of the common things that they said to me when I was applying for jobs, when I apply for jobs and when I'm rejected, is that we're sorry, we discovered that you are not the best fit for this role. And maybe it could be the truth. It is not about me, neither is it about them. It's just that I'm not the best fit for the role. So I have learned to separate myself from the situation. It does not define me. Yes. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from here. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and drop your comment at any point. If any of the points I've listed, you learned something from it, please don't forget to drop your comment. I want to read them. Thank you so much and see you on the next one.